Okay, so I'm going to pan the crowd now, then after the speech, I'm going to pan the crowd again. So, no inappropriate speaking. All right. Behind every great team, there's an even greater coach. And for a case of half a dozen teams throughout the late 40s through the early 70s, that man was Vincent Thomas Lombardi. Not only known for his outstanding football teaching as the most successful coach in history, Vince Lombardi gave players the permission to dream and let them know that they could reach a higher level of their sport. Through his ideals of hard work, second effort, loyalty, and love, Lombardi has inspired hundreds of thousands of athletes and everyday people to grasp these ideas during his ongoing immortal legacy. Vince Lombardi was born to Italian immigrants in Brooklyn, New York in 1913. Because he was an Italian immigrant, Lombardi experienced constant racism growing up as a child. This would prove in more than one way to shape him into the character he was. Because of his family's heritage, Lombardi was also a devout Catholic. While attending Catholic school as a child, he started to gain an interest in football at the age of 12. By the time he was in high school, he was at great disadvantage due to his small, non-athletic stature and poor athleticism. Nevertheless, he continued to play baseball and basketball at his school that did not offer football. Because of this, he transferred to St. Francis Preparatory School so he could play for an organized football team. By unlikely odds, he worked hard and pushed it to the limit every day and earned a spot as a starter, then eventually as an all-city selection at linesman. During his hard work and dedication to the sport, Lombardi earned a scholarship to one of the top-ranked football schools in the country during that time, which was Fordham University. Although he was very small, he again worked harder than anyone else and essentially was the original Rudy. For those of you who have seen the movie, the Notre Dame Irish hardworking story. Of course, he became a starter by his junior year, but not only a starter, he was also a member of the exclusive 7 Blocks of Granite, which was a very elite group of linesmen. His perseverance and dedication to the sport was so apparent that it carried into his most famous college game. After being kicked in the mouth during a play, Lombardi, obviously missing quite a few teeth, returned to the game and made a crucial goal line stop that allowed Fordham a spot in the championship game. If this doesn't speak courage, bravery, and dedication, I'm not sure what does. During their next game, Lombardi learned another character-shaping lesson. Fordham ended up losing to rival NYU in what a game that seemed to be a cakewalk. Lombardi has accredited this loss to one of his frequently used sayings, which is never underestimate your opponent. After graduating college during the Great Depression, there were hardly any jobs available for anyone. Lombardi decided to continue his love for football and make a decision that would affect the rest of his life and accepted a job at St. Francis High School as an assistant football coach for an annual salary of less than $1,000. At St. Francis, Lombardi helped develop his team into national dominance, even beating Brooklyn Prep, a team led by another soon-to-be famous head coach, Joe Paterno of Penn State. After a brief coaching job at his alma mater at Fordham University, Lombardi moved to West Point Military Academy. Lombardi attributed his deepest career-shaping years at West Point as an assistant coach. Due to cadet cribbing scandal in the early 1950s, 43 of West Point's 45 players were suspended from the team. This would be devastating for any coach of any team, yet Lombardi learned a great lesson from the head coach who decided to stay loyal to his school and not quit to find a job elsewhere. Decades later, looking back on his rise, Lombardi came to regard the head coach's decision not to resign as a pivotal moment in his own career. It taught him perseverance. Lombardi then moved to the New York Giants NFL team, and although his talents were recognized, he was not successful in getting a head coaching job. This was mainly due to his Italian heritage, and some schools he even applied to did not even send him a letter back. Finally, in 1958, Lombardi's perseverance and dedication as a coach paid off. Lombardi took over the Green Bay Packers for his first official NFL head coaching job. He took the Packers, who were 1-10 the year before, to 7 wins and 5 losses and becoming Coach of the Year as a rookie. He did this by enforcing a strict training regimen and expected absolute dedication from his players, something he had learned himself growing up through hardship. Lombardi brought the town of Green Bay from a disheartened community close to losing their football team to the most loyal fan base in the NFL. During the rest of his career, Lombardi went on to compile 105, 35 losses, and 6 ties, a 74 winning % record as a head coach. He never suffered a losing season. He also led the Packers to 3 NFL championships in 1965, 66, and 67, which was an NFL record at the time. Lombardi was a strict Catholic and sometimes even going to Mass every day at some points in his life. He attributes religion to his patience and dedication throughout his coaching career. He would even bring his players to church every Sunday before a game. Lombardi was very unprejudiced, and this showed up in his coaching skills. He did not choose a player whether he was black or white, but whether if he was Packer green or not. He never went into business over prejudice and made it publicly known that he would never take his team there. Lombardi's view on racial matters was a result of his religious faith and the prejudice he had experienced as an Italian American. As a result of his outstanding coaching career and, more importantly, his outstanding character and morals, there have been many awards, hospitals, charities, schools, and many other things named after Mr. Lombardi. The most well-known honor would be the Vince Lombardi Trophy, which is given to the Super Bowl winning team every year. Vincent T. Lombardi died with the courage and grace that marked him as a man. You don't do things right some of the time, you do things right all of the time. This phrase sums up everything that is Vince Lombardi. In the world of football, coaching, and character, certain magic still lingers in the very name Lombardi. When you see players after the Super Bowl hoisting a shining golden trophy into the air, his name will always come with it. Although winning a world championship in football is one of the biggest honors in sports, Vince Lombardi's legacy is the greatest prize the game can offer. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Let's go, Jeff. Man, Rock State.
It's not even on.
It is.
All right, see ya. It's not even on.
I know.